Hello, my beautiful friends. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Shay, and this is my channel, A Book Affair. If you are returning, hey girl, hey, hi guy, hey. Friends, do y'all notice anything different? Oh, wait. My office window is back. Thank the good Lord. Y'all, it's back. It is back, and I am so happy. Now, today, actually the past few days over the weekend, it has been raining off and on, very hard, lightly. It'll stop, it'll come back. So right now the sun is slowly coming out, which I was like, okay, now is the perfect time to go ahead and start filming this video. And actually, let me bring y'all in a little more. So today I'm a bit excited but also intimidated with today's video, and as you can see from the title, I have another book haul. And I say another because I recently just did like a mini book haul. It was a handful of books, so it wasn't too many. It also included like some audio books that I had from like my book subscription services. But this time, y'all, if you saw from the intro, I have some books. But we're here to share them all, right? Because we're not going to judge. This is a judge-free zone. We're not going to judge one another. We are all here for the same reason, for the love of reading and the love of books. So here we are. Though these books were in the previous video, if you have watched it, I still just want to mention them because technically they were a part of my haul, okay? Now, for some of these books, I'm not going to read the entire synopsis because we'll probably be here forever, because y'all know your girls start rambling, start talking about everybody and everything. So we don't want that today. I'm going to try my very best to keep this video much more concise, all right? So for the first book, The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. If you see my previous video, then you already kind of know my thoughts about this one, so I am not going to read the synopsis. I hope you're not living on a rock because I feel like everyone should know about this book. But if you are, it is a book that I still highly recommend, even though it did not exactly do it for me. Next book, The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. Tore me to pieces, broke my heart entirely. She did not have to do this, but this is a very beautiful book. I say, do not read this book if you do not want to cry. Just don't do it. And I mean, there is death in it as well, so something to just be mindful of. But very great book, 5 stars. However, if you don't feel like crying, avoid this book at all costs. I'm going to go ahead and share the audiobook that I got for this month from Book of the Month, and it's actually Fredrik Backman's My Friends. I will pop it up here. I am really excited to tune into this one. If you do not know, I want to say at the end of 2024, I discovered Fredrik Backman by reading Anxious People. It was different. I did not really know what to expect going in. He has a very different writing style, but it is very character driven. Very character driven, and he does it very well. And so I am for sure excited to get into My Friends by Fredrik Backman. I'm not going to read the synopsis because I have read the synopsis in a previous video. It was my most anticipated reads for the first half of the year. So if you want to check that out and other books that I am anticipating, please check that out. I'll make sure to insert it down below. But yes, My Friends by Fredrik Backman. I wanted to go ahead and get that out there because I do not physically have the copy. I decided to opt in for the audio version of this May's Book of the Month pick. Now on to the actual physical books that I do have. We're going to go ahead and get started with my first subscription box from the Aardvark Book Club. This box is beautiful. Love the colors. Love it. And I'm excited. I can't remember book 2, but I remember one book that I got in here. And I apologize if it's getting a bit gloomy. The sun is going down again. But one of the main reasons why I missed my window is because I hate having the big light on, especially in the daytime. So I'm so excited to just have natural light in my office again. I need to put up curtains, but we'll get there. Think inside the box. That's cute. That is cute. So first book is Julie Chen is Dead by Leanne Zhang. This is a book that I, not too long ago, it had to maybe be about, we'll say about 2 months ago, give or take. This book is about a twin sister who decides that once her sister passed, unfortunately, she's going to then take on her life as an influencer. Her sister was an influencer, but as she goes into the ins and outs of influencer life, she then starts to discover things that she was not prepared for. And so this is very different for me. I'm not exactly sure what genre this even is, but also I like the cover. The cover is like very interesting. Let me see if I can read a quick synopsis. Transforming into Chloe is easier than expected. Julie effortlessly adopts her sister's luxurious lifestyle, complete with designer clothes, a meticulous skincare routine, and millions of adoring followers. However, Julie soon realizes that Chloe's seemingly picture-perfect life was anything but. Haunted by Chloe's untimely death and struggling to fit into her new privileged circle, Julie faces mounting challenges during a week-long island retreat with her twins' exclusive group of friends. As events spiral out of control, Julie uncovers the sinister forces that may have led to her sister's demise and realizes that she might be the next target. That sounds really good. Either way, I cannot wait to get into this one. And it just recently released. I'll put the release date here. But yeah, Julie Chen is Dead, which is book 1 in my Aardvark book club box. Book 2, this is the book I forgot about. I for sure knew Julie Chen is Dead. But this is also a book I believe I had on my most anticipated reads video. You Are Fatally Invited by, is it Andy Pliego? Oh my gosh, forgive me. This one is a thriller, an exclusive thriller writer's retreat hosted on a private island turns lethal when one of the authors is found murdered in this twisty locked room mystery. Sign me up. Sign me up. Anything that is murder mystery. I absolutely love the board game Clue. Me and my sister, that's our thing. I absolutely love, what's that movie with Adam Sandler? Murder mystery. Murder mystery. And Jennifer Aniston, I believe. Murder mystery 1 and 2, absolutely love those. Anything with it. So honestly, all I had to see was this was a murder mystery on a private island, and I was so that is book 2 in my Aardvark book box. Okay, on to the next part of the haul. We have When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. Look at this cover. I actually discovered this book a few months ago, probably like several months ago, by Rachel over on her channel. And this was a book that I cannot exactly remember what she said, but I want to say it was a book that when she read it, she was like pleasantly surprised. Pretty much to sum this up, it is about best friends who are then no longer, so they eventually go their separate ways. I want to say this is probably YA most likely, and it's probably based like in high school, and even at the top it says sometimes best friends aren't forever. And so I was like, okay, that sounds like something that will really resonate with me, and I want to check it out because I feel like it's not something that's really discussed, right, when you become an adult, where friends you've had forever since, like, let's say grade school, high school, college, and then adult years, and you eventually just kind of grow apart, especially without reason. It's something that's not discussed, right? And so I was like, okay, I've never read a story like that, so I wanted to check it out. So that is why I got When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. Can't wait to get into that one. All right, so the next one is a book I have been wanting for quite some time. I've already read something by this author, but it is Delicious Monsters by LaSalle Samberry. I have mentioned this book as I do have her fantasy, the currently duology, and this is Delicious Monsters. I want to say that this main character can see ghosts. Perhaps it's something about a family home. Obviously, I read up on this like more than a year ago, probably closer to 2. And I was like, oh, gotta get it. And also, I already love works that this author has written, so it was a no-brainer. It just took me a little while to get it, but that is Delicious Monsters by LaSalle Samberry. Can't wait to jump to that one. It's pretty thick. She a thickie. Let's see. Yeah, she's a thick one. 502 pages, and I'm sure it will be good because, again, I already enjoy her work. Now this one, along with some others. I avoided 2 of these. I will say that I avoided 2 of these simply because I just didn't think it was for me. Now I've heard about these books and I really didn't look at them twice because I was like, nah, Shay, I don't think that's for you. But after seeing the movie Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler with the Michael B. Jordan and the amazing cast, like that movie, seen it twice, had to talk myself out of seeing it a 3rd time. Amazing movie. So I ended up going down a rabbit hole on Twitter and I had to look up books that are similar to Sinners because I was like, I still needed, like it was still in my soul, like I needed another hit, okay? And so surprisingly, the moments I seen 2 of these books I avoided, I said, say less, I'm going to get it. Going to get them. Giving Sinners vibes, going to get them. And actually, these books may not, and I understand this, are not going to be an exact story or tale like Sinners was. Sinners was very original. Ryan Coogler did the damn thing. But it's just that feeling, I don't really know how to describe it outside of that I wanted to get back. And so I said, okay, I'm going to dive into some books that are perhaps outside of my comfort zone. But because of the way Sinners was done, I said, I'll give it a shot. So the first one is, and I've seen plenty of people talk about it, Immortal Dark by, is it Taijess Grima? Grima? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me in the ring light. Immortal Dark, Sprayed Edges. I'm a bit worried. I believe it is YA. It's YA. I know it's also vampire, so that's kind of where like the Sinners come into play. Look at these end pages. It's a gorgeous book. Look at this. Okay, Arthur. Girl, you better serve. Beautiful. She is serving face. Yes, and so vampires, and even here it says no soul can enter without an invitation. Literally, if you've seen Sinners, you know. Now, I may be a little hesitant and scared to read this because typically like horror, I don't do. Like I can do thriller, I can. And even though Sinners was like considered horror, like it was much more than horror. It wasn't like, oh no, Exorcist type movie. You know, it wasn't anything like that. It was a great anyway, but yes, I cannot wait to tune in to Immortal Dark. Tune in, not a TV show. I cannot wait to check out Immortal Dark. On to the next one. Okay, so this next book is also a book that people have raved about, and if you follow Kayla over from Kayla's Bookish Vibes, you know this is her book. I want to say Aaliyah over on her channel, Bookmark by Aaliyah, recently also read this book because of Kayla's recommendation. Loved it. The next one is, let me take out my receipt. The Reformatory by Tanera Reed Du. Truly hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I actually got this book from Half Price Books, as well as, no, Immortal Dark, had to get it from Amazon because the copy at Barnes was not up to my liking. But yes, The Reformatory. Now again, I only got this because of Sinners, and it populated in a tweet where people was like, if you like Sinners, read these books. I know that a young boy, a black boy, does something, defends his sister he is in, placed into the reformatory, and then creepy shit happens. Okay, so this is also a thick one. She thick, but I'm gonna give it a try. One thing I will say, I trust Kayla's judgment. I have never met Kayla from Kayla's Bookish Vibes, but I trust her judgment. And because of her, I actually have read some books outside of my comfort zone, and I was like, this isn't that bad. So when will I get to this? I don't know, because she's thick, but I got it because of Sinners as well, and I really can't wait to dive into it. Now that I have it, it's like, okay, let me see if I am going to you know, have that same love for it. I mean, give them the context, right? And as much as you can love it. So that is Reformatory by To Never Breathe Do. All right, so one more regarding like the recommended for sinners. I have Lone Women by Victor LaValle. Lone Women by Victor LaValle. As you can see, this is one that I did also get from Half Price Books. Gotta take that sticker off. This actually was Book of the Month pick in 2023, so I'm a little behind. Surprisingly, the condition is really good. If it was not, I would not have gotten it. But let me read you guys a quick synopsis of what this is about. It says, Adelaide Henry carries an enormous streamer trunk with her wherever she goes. It's locked at all times because when the trunk opens, people around Adelaide start to disappear. Crafted by a modern master of magical suspense, Lone Women blends shimmering prose and unforgettable cast of adventurers who find horror and sisterhood in a brutal landscape and a portrait of early 20th century America like you've never seen. At its heart is the gripping story of a woman desperate to bury her past or redeem it. Sounds good. I can't wait to get into it. I'm trying not to have expectations because again, I only got it because this was surprisingly on the list for sinners. And I could see that reading it, but I don't want to go in with like, it's going to make me exactly feel like sinners, right? I am excited to read it too because this is another way for me to, you know, just discover other stories and authors I otherwise probably would not have. So that is Lone Women by Victor LaValle. All right, for this next book, I also purchased it from Half Price Books, and it is The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. And if you know, The Perfect Marriage is the book that got me back into my reading bag. So I had to get The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. Now I am surprised that it is so small compared to The Perfect Marriage. Let me show you in comparison. We have The Perfect Marriage, and this was my collector's edition because I had it paperback. But this is them side by side. Them edges, it's just crazy. So yeah, very much shorter. Can't wait to dive into this one. I know with The Perfect Marriage, it was audio, even though I did have the physical copy. But I may could just like knock this out. I'm a slow reader though, but The Perfect Divorce, cannot wait to get into that one. Moving on is Sounds Like a Plan by Pamela Samuels Young and Dwayne Alexander Smith. Giving me Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibes, black couple. Love it. And here are the authors at the back. Oh, can you see? Oh, there we go. There go the authors. And so I saw this cover. That's what caught my eye. And I was like, I can check this out. I've only read, from my knowledge, I want to say just one book where it had dual authors. And so this will be different for me, especially since it's a woman in a male's POV. But it is one person missing, two rival detectives, infinite chemistry. And so I remember reading the back of this. So pretty much it's two detectives who don't get along. They are then forced to, I believe, like work a case. And as we know with romance and love stories, spark, and then they end up finding interest in each other. And yeah, that's what I can remember from reading this in Barnes & Noble. And I was like, I could use a cute, unserious like read to kind of break up with, especially after I read like, you know, The Reformatory and Immortal Dark, right? I'll need something a bit more lighter. And so yeah, Sounds Like a Plan is the one I got from that same day. Okay, now for this next one, this is a book that typically was out of my comfort zone. However, I heard such captivating and good things about it. Like the story seems very interesting and very different. And for the most part, I haven't heard too many bad reviews. I believe there has been some where they did not necessarily connect to it because I believe of the way the main character is presented, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, no, I don't want to read it. And that is The Ministry of Time by, is it Kalini Bradley? Please forgive me. I could be saying that entirely wrong. Like it says at the back of the book, a boy meets a girl, the past meets the future, a finger meets a trigger, the beginning meets the end. Oh, that sounds really good. Let me see if I can give y'all something. In the near future, a civil servant is offered the salary of her dreams to work on a top secret project. A recently established government ministry is gathering expats from across history to establish whether time travel is feasible for the human body, but also for the fabric of space-time. That's all I'm gonna read. I remember now. Yes, I remember. So yeah, so that is the Ministry of Time. So it is a time travel, space-time travel type of book. And again, where the past meets the future, and they're gonna see how that works with the people they are bringing from the past to the future and how to fix them. So the Ministry of Time. Now this one, I will say also, I have seen people talk about it. I know that it has gotten an award, but it wasn't until recently where Aaliyah, I believe it was Aaliyah from Bookmark by Aaliyah, she raved about this book and the way she described it, because I never could really understand the book, but the way she described it, I said, say less, I have to get it, I have to get it. And that is James by Percival Everett. I know this is a story based on Huckleberry Finn, and even when me and hubby were in Barnes & Noble, I asked him, do you know the story of Huckleberry Finn? He said yes, but he can't remember it. I don't think I've ever known the story. I cannot say that I've known the story of Huckleberry Finn, and I meant to Google it before this, and I didn't, and it's fine. It's fine. We're here now. We're here now. However, I know that it is about James, who's a slave, and pretty much there is also some explanations of how, you know, there has to be some code switching, right? Because the masters thought they were, you know, illiterate and dumb and unintelligent, and therefore they acted that way for survival. And so again, I had seen people talk about it a few times, but if it wasn't for Aaliyah, I don't think I would have gotten it, because again, she just described it so beautifully. That is James by Percival Everett. Surprise, I was out of my comfort zone if I hadn't already said that. So very proud of myself and my reading taste evolving. All right, so this was my latest impromptu Barnes & Noble trip. And so this is Single Black Female by Tracy Brown. I do not think, have I read anything by Tracy Brown? I don't think I've read anything by Tracy Brown, but I saw the cover, I seen Single Black Female, I said, why not? To read something very quickly, Ivy Donovan is a successful styler, entrepreneur, and single mom who has been loyal to her son's father, Michael, as he serves a lengthy prison sentence. But life has gotten lonely over the years, and Ivy wants more for herself. Michael, however, isn't about to lose his family. Then we're skipping down to things come to a head when Ivy's younger son, Kingston, is caught up in a polarizing encounter with the NYPD. Everyone must figure out where they stand, including Bobby, who suddenly has to decide if his blue life, which I'm assuming means cop, matters more to him than his black life and the black lives of those he loves. I'm going to ease into this one. But this is Single Black Female by Tracy Brown. Not going to lie, y'all, for the next one, it was a cover for me. It was one of those where you see the cover and you just buy it solely off that. And that is Frenemies with Benefits by Sanathia Williams. I truly hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Look at this cover. Y'all can't tell me y'all wouldn't have saw this and bought it. I know I'm not the only one. But yes, the cover was gorgeous, and the spine. It's fine. It's giving spring, it's giving summer. Yeah, so it seems like Tracy, she had something scandalous happen in her marriage. And so she's then like, you know what? People gonna talk. I might as well give them something to talk about. And then him right here, looks like his name is Brian. They actually went to school together. He's always admired her. And then I believe they probably have some type of arrangement, some type of friends to benefits type thing. I don't know. It says frenemies, so they probably, you know, probably didn't get along too much, but perhaps in a small town, we know, love likes to bloom. So that's what it seems like we're going to get here. So that is Frenemies with Benefits by Sanathia Williams. Beautiful cover. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, friends. This one. This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I have already read and completed this book and enjoyed it, but I needed the physical copy. So I was in there and I got the physical copy. All right. No explanations needed. No explanations needed. when I went into Barnes & Noble, y'all, I did not plan to get Can't Get Enough yet, because if you have watched any of my recent videos, I have said how I have been taking a break from series. I said that. I said I'm taking a break from series. I walked in there and saw the table and picked it up. I immediately walked back to the door to get a basket, and I picked it up because I said, girl, you about to leave with a few books. And so I had to get Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. And if you can't tell, I'm already reading. This isn't updated because audio. This isn't updated, but I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I assumed that it was going to be hardcover in Barnes & Noble. And Before I Let Go initially has always been paperback. So I was like, okay, hardcover is going to come out. I'm going to give it some time to get to paperback. But it was already paperback. So I said, girl, get it. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? And so, yes, I had to get Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. And that completes my set. That completes my set. I'm going to have to go in the backlog for Kennedy Ryan and read her books, because this girl can write. She knows how to write a story and moving real life everyday problems that people go through, right? Really, really beautiful. Now it's gonna be a while, because again, taking a break from series after I read this, after I finish this, but really enjoying it. So yes, Can't Get Enough by the Kennedy Ryan came out. Y'all already know, so we're not even surprised. We knew she was coming out. I love Hendrix. I know that I have a follower who mentions that she really doesn't like Hendrix, but I like Hendrix. And I don't want to say that I'm just like her, but there are aspects of Hendrix where I'm like, I see myself in her. And so maybe that's it. But yeah, there are definitely some qualities of Hendrix that I was like, girl, I will hype my friends up like that too. I feel that, yes, girl, go after that. I kind of feel like I align with her in that way. And so I'm enjoying her story, her and Maverick. If you know, you know. And again, I think I'm maybe only on chapter 14. I hope I'm not lying. But good book so far. Love it. Okay, friends, so that brings me to the end of this book haul. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me, hanging here, listening to me. And I actually want to just let y'all know before I wrap up what other book I am reading currently. I have the Kindle because my physical copy is in the living room. I have mentioned this before, but it is my sister's book, 957 by Sydney Monet. I'm 73% done. I would have finished this last night, but I just have to stick to my bedtime routine so I can wake up early and do what I need to do. But it was so hard for me to close it. And then before I had to have my sessions this morning with clients, I got a little reading in, but I haven't been able to pick it up yet. Now after this, I have to go make dinner. And so I'm hoping while like dinner's in the oven, I can get some more of this, because I want to go ahead and finish this and knock this out. If y'all have not checked it out, please check it out. It is very addicting. It's also very relatable, right? Because it's based in Dallas, Texas, where we were born and raised. And so the characters are familiar. The characters are very familiar. And I'm just so proud of her. But I'm trying to I've been reading on a Kindle so I can, you know, click through much quicker instead of like turning the pages. But I'm really enjoying it. I've been enjoying it from start up until this point. And we're getting to the end, and I'm just like, what is she going to do? She as in Victoria. So Victoria and Caleb are the two main characters in the story. And so when I had to get in the car and drive somewhere, I again wanted a book. And my sister's book is not available on audio. So that's why I then went to Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. So that's why I'm actually in the middle of two books, because that's not a norm for me. I feel as though I can't read two books, but now I'm like, oh, this is the thing. This is how you can do it. So here I am. But now we are at the very end of the book haul, friends. Y'all seen it was quite a few books. It was 18 books. I want to say 18 books, including My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which is audio from Book of the Month. 18 books. So y'all, I'm not doing another book haul. I'm not doing another book haul anytime soon. Now my birthday is in September, perhaps then, but I have more than enough books, and I have to organize all this, right? Like I have more than enough books that I haven't touched on my shelf. And so yeah, that's it. And I'm gonna go ahead, wrap this up so I can start dinner. I hope y'all didn't hear my stomach growling. I hope not, friends. But yeah, thank you so much for staying to the very end. If you have stayed to the very end of this video, please let me know if there is a book that I've mentioned that you would recommend me read next after I finish my sister's book 957 and then can't get enough. Please let me know which book I should read next. I mean, I have a few options, even if it's not any of these books that I showed in this particular haul. I don't know if you guys can see any up here, but just let a girl know, recommend, and I will check it out. But again, thank you for your time. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. App, slow down. Girl, just slow down. You ain't got nowhere to be. You at home. Slow down.